welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're sorting through that whole stack of sources, the injury reports, team notes, all of it, to figure out what's really going on with the Philadelphia Eagles strategy for this critical Week 18.
And it is absolutely critical. The sources all confirm it. The Eagles are resting key starters.
The big names.
The big names, yeah. But, and this is the key, they are still very much playing to lock up that number 2 seed in the NFC. It's a calculated risk.
So to pull this off, they need a lot of things to go right. They need help from other games, they need their own injury reports to look good, and of course the backups have to perform.
A perfect storm, basically.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack all of this. We'll start with the external news, which honestly could not have been better for the Birds. Then we'll dig into a new injury concern on the Philly side, and what it really means to have a fully healthy Jalen Hurts heading into January.
It's a huge deal.
Okay, so let's start there with the external factors. What exactly has lined up so perfectly that the team feels they can actually afford to bench their stars?
Well, it all starts with the Lions versus Bears game. That's the big one. For the Eagles to get that seed, they absolutely need Detroit to go out and win.
Even though the Lions were just eliminated from the playoffs, that's a tough spot.
It is. Usually you'd worry about a team just, packing it in. But the news on this front has been, well, just excellent.
Okay.
Star receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's been dealing with a knee or ankle issue, he came out and flat out denied any rumors that he or the other starters were sitting. He said he's playing.
And if he's playing, you'd assume the rest of Dan Campbell's guys are too.
That's what the sources indicate.
Yeah.
All starters active. And if you're going to rely on an eliminated team to play hard, a Dan Campbell team's probably your best bet, right?
Oh, for sure. That's their culture. But what about the team they're playing? The Bears aren't a pushover.
No, they're not. The news there is a bit mixed. They're expected to be missing the receiver, Roma Dunes, maybe a starting tackle, that helped.
Yeah.
But their rookie receiver, Luther Burton, who had that really scary injury last week where he got carted off, he's actually back practicing and should play. So the Lions still have to go out and win a real football game.
Okay, so that's part one of the puzzle. Now let's pivot to the Eagles' actual opponent, the Commanders. This is where it feels like things are almost custom-made for the backups to succeed.
It really is. We have confirmed reports now. No Marcus Mariota at quarterback for them, and crucially, no Larry Tunsil, their star offensive tackle.
So the Eagles' backup D-line only has to face a team led by who? Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson, yeah. A solid veteran, but he's a third stringer for a reason. And the whole franchise, let's be honest, they're focused on their draft pick. Their motivation is just completely different.
And it gets even worse for them. The sources are pointing to a pretty significant sickness report out of their locker room.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some kind of flu or virus going around.
And it's hitting key guys.
Yeah, it is. Tunsil's own backup tackle has been sick. Their number 2 receiver, Treyon Burks, he's missed practice time with it. So you add it all up. The path for the Eagles' backups to get a win here looks about as clear as it could possibly be.
Okay, so the table is set externally. But what about internally? Let's get to the Eagles' own injury report, because there's one new name on there that's a bit worrying, but also one massive piece of good news.
Right, let's start with the concern. The one that jumps out is rookie D-tackle Jaylen Carter. He suddenly popped up on the report as DNP did not participate yesterday.
Not for the shoulder, which we've known about all year.
Exactly. This is a new hip injury, and that's concerning.
A new injury this late in the year is never what you want to see, especially for a key rookie.
Precisely. His shoulder was something he could manage. A hip injury for a guy like him, it could affect his explosiveness, his lateral movement, everything that makes him so disruptive. It's something you have to monitor heading into next week's practices, for sure.
We also know for sure that Marcus Epps is out. He got a concussion in practice Thursday. He's in the protocol. So the secondary depth takes another hit.
It does. But now for the monumental piece of good news. And this, to me, is the real strategic win of the week. Jalen Hurts.
His health?
His health. You just can't overstate this. Based on all the data, all the history, this is going to be the first season Jalen Hurts enters the playoffs without some kind of specific lingering injury that limits his game.
Walk us through that history, because it's easy to forget just how banged up he's been in January before.
Okay, so think back. 2021, he had that really bad ankle injury late in the season. He was in a walking boot, needed surgery that February. It totally limited his mobility.
Right, and 2022 was the shoulder.
The infamous shoulder injury against the Bears, yeah. He played great, but he was clearly limited. He couldn't really air it out deep, and a lot of the designed QB run game was, it was off the table.
And even last season, which felt like a healthier run for him, he still wasn't 100%.
Not at all. He sprained a finger on his throwing hand in Week 18. He had a concussion in the last game. And then he picked up that pretty significant knee injury in the divisional game against the Rams. That knee thing really mattered. It took away a lot of their zone read options.
So the hope here is that with him being fully healthy, maybe the offense's recent struggles weren't all physical. Maybe they can, iron things out.
So what? Because he's healthy, the sources are saying the Eagles are ready to take all the training wheels off in the playoffs.
Which means more designed QB runs.
More designed runs, more aggressive RPOs, and just his natural scrambling ability when a play breaks down. A totally healthy Jalen Hurts changes everything for how a defense has to prepare. It's the biggest advantage they could possibly get this week.
That's a great point. The biggest win of the week might just be getting QB1 to the starting line of the playoffs at 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk logistics. Everyone says rest the starters, but it's not that simple, is it?
No, not at all. You have to look at the roster map. The sources are really clear on this. With a 53-man roster, you physically don't have enough players to bench all 22 starters.
Certain guys just have to play out of necessity.
Exactly. And you see it most on the offensive and defensive lines. On the O-line, for instance, a guy like Fred Johnson, who's already starting for Lane Johnson, and Tyler Steen. They have to play.
There's no one else to rotate in.
There's just not enough bodies. So they're going to have to play a high number of snaps, which is a risk in itself right before the playoff.
And it's the same story on the defensive line, I imagine.
Correct. You're going to see guys like Morrow, Nolan Smith, Gillick's Hunt. They're going to have to play way more than they usually do because someone like Tyler Robinson can't play every single snap. The risk there is a soft tissue injury or just plain exhaustion.
There's also been a lot of talk among fans about Devonta Smith. He's, about 40 yards shy of another 1,000-yard season?
Yeah, and while that's a great milestone for him, the consensus from the sources is that it's just highly unlikely the team puts him out there for a quarter just to get a personal stat.
The injury risk is just too high.
The risk-reward calculation just isn't there. Protecting him for the playoffs is priority number 1, 2, and 3.
So who are we actually going to see out there on Sunday? What's the lineup look like?
Well, the star of the show is going to be Tanner McKee at quarterback. At running back, it'll be mostly Will Shipley and A.J. Dillon. The team is really hoping to keep Tank Bigsby on the sidelines as much as possible.
Save him for the playoff run.
Exactly. And at wide receiver, this is a huge opportunity for Jan Dotson, Darius Cooper, and probably Terrace Marshall Jr. to get a ton of reps.
And that leads us right to what I think is the most fascinating part of this whole week. It's the Tanner McKee opportunity. This is about more than just getting a win. His performance has real, long-term implications for this franchise.
It absolutely does. And look, McKee has already built this incredible reputation as a backup. Remember last season, he came in against the Cowboys in mop-up duty and looked, absolutely fantastic was the quote.
And then he started the Week 18 game against the Giants.
And he lit them up. Playing with fellow backups, he threw for over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just looked completely in command.
That's so rare for a guy who doesn't get starter reps.
Yeah.
It really speaks to his mindset.
It really does. There's a great quote from him where he basically says, "It's obviously fun when something's on the line, but you're going to approach the game the same way." He treats every single snap like it's the Super Bowl. People at training camp were apparently marveling at his confidence and the zip on the ball.
Okay, so connect the dots for us. He goes out there Sunday, he plays great again. What happens Monday morning in the Eagles front office?
The phones start ringing. That's what happens. This is the big business angle you have to understand. A stellar performance from McKee on national television absolutely guarantees that Howie Roseman gets a bunch of calls this offseason.
From teams that need a quarterback.
From teams that are desperate for a quarterback. The sources point out there are at least 5 teams with major QB questions heading into next year.
And McKee is the perfect trade target. Young, cheap contract, proven he can play.
Exactly. So if you're a fan, you should be actively rooting for him to ball out. Forget any silly McKee over Hurts talk the media might stir up. A great game from him could turn into a huge return for the Eagles. We're talking a potential 2nd or 3rd round draft pick.
And that kind of draft capital is franchise altering. You're trading a backup quarterback for a potential starting safety or a blue chip offensive lineman down the road.
It's just smart asset management. You maximize the value of a non-starter to improve your overall roster health for the long term. A great game from McKee is a massive win for the entire organization's future.
It's the ultimate perspective shift for this game. So despite all this good news, healthy Hurts, weak opponent, the McKee opportunity, there is still this little cloud of doubt
That's
because the
right.
starting offense has struggled these last few weeks. How are the players handling that pressure?
That's a fair question, and we actually got some great insight from Jordan Mailata on this just yesterday. He made it clear they are not ignoring the recent problems.
So what was his message?
He was very direct. He basically said the team welcomes the challenge and that they've been in this position before. His quote was, "We've been here before. We've been doubted. We've had these same questions heading into playoffs last year, and so, for us, it's just we welcome that challenge."
So they're using it as fuel, not hiding from it.
Absolutely. He said they're working like crazy in practice to fix the run game, get the play action going, and stop turning the ball over. The message was clear. They're confident they can prove the doubters wrong again. For them, January officially begins now, and they're ready.
So as you get ready to watch this game on Sunday, there are really two key takeaways to keep in mind.
Right. First, the Eagles' path to the 2 seed depends on this perfect convergence. A completely healthy Jalen Hurts for the first time ever in the playoffs, which should unlock their whole offense. And second, they're facing opponents in Week 18 that are either injured, sick, or just not motivated to win.
And that brings us to our final provocative thought for you to chew on. Considering the very real, guaranteed trade value that a great Tanner McKee performance creates, that potential high draft pick, how much of a risk is the team truly taking by resting the starters? Or are they just trading a tiny bit of risk this Sunday for a massive gain in future roster capital? It turns this game from just a simple seeding battle into a really sophisticated, high-reward business decision. And that's what we'll be watching for.